You know, if he weren't a robot, I'd say that gun was compensating for something. Hey guys, this is AwesomeJohn22 coming at you today with another review for Megatron Week, which is quickly becoming about as aptly named as the Hitchhiker's Trilogy. Anyway, today we are looking at another Deluxe Class Megatron, as I said yesterday. Well, day before yesterday. We are looking at the War for Cybertron Megatron, and there's a very important reason for that. I don't like the Follow Cybertron Megatron at all. This, I believe, is the far superior video game Megatron. And frankly, I'm still impressed that we actually got a Megatron from a video game. And I really kind of dig this guy. There's a lot of options with him. And I'm playing with the figure, and I shouldn't be because I'm reviewing the figure. But I really like the look of this guy. I think he does a good job of representing his on-screen counterpart. And as a big fan of the game, I really felt that was important. And I know a lot of people had some trouble with this figure. They didn't really like it. But I always did. I always thought it was very cool. And I'm going to try to show you guys why that is. As you can see, he is basically just a big mobile cannon. And he is a tank. He is supposed to be a tank. He's supposed to be a hover tank, as he was in the video game. As you can see, he doesn't have any treads down here. Though, if you like him not being a hover tank, you can fold out treads. There are treads underneath there. Oh, his head. But yes, you can fold out treads and make him look like a much more conventional tank. And I like this look just as much as I like the other look. So it's really up to you which one you go for. Showing off some of his details here, you can see on this gun there are vents, there are indicators, there's a lot of detail on this gun. I just really love the look of this gun, but it is very big. And I question why it is so big, because I don't quite think it's in scale with the rest of the figure. As you can see, there is the figure. There is the part of the gun that hangs off the figure. And so while I like the design of it, I kind of wish it was a little bit smaller, I'm not going to lie. Which I know is a weird thing to say about Megatron's cannon, but hey, that's just my opinion. You can see we've got some nice colors going on here. We've got a lot of gray, though it is just that plain Hasbro gray. But it is broken up by some fantastic molded details, some more vents, some really cool grooves and lines, and some more red paint apps, which average out to being pretty cool. And they do bring the whole thing together. And then we have some black down here in the lower parts that blend in with the cannon, bringing the whole thing together even further. And looking here, you can see underneath there some clear purple, which is his Dark Energon, because the concept of Dark Energon was introduced in the video games, and the purple carries over to his missile, which does fire, as you can see. And we were actually going to leave that missile out of the figure because I am notorious for accidentally firing the missile on this guy. Let me put it this way. This guy has a lot of trouble leaving his missile in his gun, if you know what I mean. I really need a joke writer. But yes, I do like this figure. I do like this mode. I know I like it a lot more than most people. But where this figure really shines is the robot mode, which we are going to take a look at right now. Moving the missile out of frame. We are going to start by removing his gun, which makes the vehicle mode look much, much worse. But there you go. But yes, we remove the gun. Next up, we are going to fold this to add a 90-degree angle with the rest of the figure. Come down to the bottom. And we are going to fold these up. And zooming in, we are going to take the halves of his hands that are concealed here in the treads, and we are going to fold them out at each side. And this can get a little tricky. It is a little bit hard sometimes to get your nails in there to pull them out. But, you know, a practiced hand, it's not that difficult. Once we have both halves of each hand out, we can combine the tread halves into his arms. Next up, we're going to come up here and just separate this piece here and fold it so that it is about there. Now, coming around here, we are going to unpeg these panels from what will be his shoulders and then fold these whole sections all the way down, like so. Which gives us room to bring his arms down into place, straighten them out. Now we can bring up his head, bring up his back, bring up his chest, and then down here on the feet, we can fold his feet flat, and then fold these panels up and out of the way however we wish. And here we have Megatron in his robot mode, and it is a very cool looking robot mode, and it does a very good job of representing the screen counterpart very well, I think. I like it, it's proportionate, it's cool looking, but it is just a deluxe, so it is a little small. So let's bring in some size comparisons here. Here we have Leader Class Animated Megatron. You can see Leader Class Animated Megatron is much, much bigger than Deluxe Class War for Cybertron Megatron, as you would expect. It is the difference in size between a Leader Class and a Deluxe Class, so, you know. Next, we're going to bring in a Voyager Class. We're going to bring in Springer. And panning up again, you can see Springer is quite a lot bigger than this guy, too. Because he is from that brief period where Deluxes were pretty small. I'm not going to lie, they were pretty small. And they're still a bit smaller than they used to be nowadays, but... And I know the Fall of Cybertron Megatron was actually a little bit smaller than this, I think, but... He's small. Let's put it that way. He's small. But he looks good, and I like the way he looks. He has a great face, which actually, you know, you could actually believe that this guy might actually be Transformers Prime Megatron, as they want us to believe in the Prime continuity. If you read about the Prime continuity online, got some great Dark Energon details there, and a great chest. I love the chest design on this, with these chevrons and the Dark Energon and the big purple Decepticon symbol on black. It really makes it pop. Coming out here, you have some painted Dark Energon bits, and then you have the Dark Energon bits that were in the rear half of the tank on his knees now, and I really like that. I like the red arms. I like how the red all comes together and the black all comes together. I just really like the color scheme of this guy overall. And there is one more thing about this guy I really like. But first, let's get into articulation, because I have a habit of forgetting articulation. Due to his transformation, his head can look up and down, and it is on a rotational joint, which can look a full 360 because he has no obstructions from a backpack or from anything in his shoulders, which is very cool. He has a full range of motion at the shoulders, though he can't really come out too far. He rotates, and he has a great elbow rotation, which is part of his transformation. Also, I want to point out, I really love the way those hands are posed. It really says, "I am Megatron, a Shakespearean actor." But yes, I digress. In his legs, he has a full movement at the hips, a great bend at the knee, rotation right above the knee, and despite the fact that his legs are hollow, I really like them because you can get, there's even some pivot down here. He's got great articulation in the legs. It really lets you create some really dynamic poses for him, as you can see right here. And I really like it. It's a really cool toy. But he is a video game toy, and in the video game, there was one thing that was really interesting about the characters. Characters like Prime and Megatron, they did have their standard weapons, but then they also had other weapons they could use too. And that does carry over into this figure. Here, you can see, we can plug in his cannon on his arm and give him his standard arm cannon, which is very cool, and it has this additional blaster here. But we can also do this. We can also have this additional rifle end, and we can rotate it around and plug it in the same port. And now he has this rifle that I think looks awesome. I love the look of this thing, and he can either kind of hold it like this and shoot it as like a shoulder weapon, a la Gundam, or my favorite, he can bend his arm, carry it as an underslung weapon, and then he has access to the cannon on his shoulder, and I love that. I just love that you can kind of customize how you want him to carry his weapon. I absolutely love it. I adore it. And it's one of the things that makes me believe that this figure really is one of the best Deluxe Megatrons out there, and it's the definitive Megatron we are going to get for any video game continuity, because like I said, I really don't like the Fall of Cybertron Deluxe Class Megatron much at all. I just think there's something off about it. It's the same with Optimus Prime from that line. I understand it's a bit better of a mold than the War for Cybertron Optimus Prime, but I simply won't get it. It's just, there's something about it. I think it's that it looks too small to me. It looks like the mold would work better on a larger figure, and that really bothers me. And actually, that is the main detraction from this guy and his War for Cybertron Optimus Prime counterpart. I think they're too small. If we had gotten Voyagers of these guys, I think they would have been perfect. I think this guy would have actually won Megatron Week if he were a Voyager class. I think he would have. I love him. He's fantastic, but he's just too small. You saw him next to a Voyager class toy before. He's tiny. Could you really believe that he could lead some of the other War for Cybertron continuity Decepticons like Soundwave, for example? Soundwave is a Voyager and Megatron only gets a Deluxe class? That's terrible. I thought they'd rectify it with the second game line, but they really didn't, and it really bums me out. So this guy does not win Megatron Week, though I do love the design, and it does pain me to say it. Sorry guys, it's not this one, though I don't really think you expected it to be. So we are going to continue our search tomorrow with another Megatron. And I say tomorrow, but I really mean whenever I have the time to get it done, because I haven't had a lot of time recently, guys. We are going to look at another Megatron. It is going to be a Voyager-class Megatron, and I think you guys are going to like it. I think you guys are going to like the review, because it is one of my favorite Voyager Megatrons, and it's probably not one of yours, and you're probably going to give me a lot of crap for it, you know, if anybody actually watches the video. So yeah, there you go, guys. That has been War for Cybertron Deluxe Class Megatron, one of my favorite Megatrons, but not my best Megatron. Please, if you feel so inclined, like and favorite and subscribe and all that other stuff. And feel free to shoot me an idea for a review. You can check my collection video, which will be in the description below, for ideas. This has been Awesome John 22, and I will talk to you guys later.